you had asked us to write about one character, and you said, let's do a gray shade, let's do a very dark shade, and let's do a completely white shade as well. Absolutely no limit as to what you can write. So based on that, when I've written, I realized that what I don't know is the structure.
I just wanted to double check.
Something exists, really. Yeah. Everybody has a very unique, way of scripting. And if you could say a bit about, how your group was, and what do you feel about, what do you remember about it?
I would say that when I signed up for this course, I was thinking I'll be learning how to maybe learn more about writing. But what I got was a family.
Great. Yep. Really. That's
a community that I got. Because I remember I've been pestering you with questions throughout, as many questions, not just you, anyone who's come in, I've been asking as many questions as possible because I told
And
myself.
indeed, that questions is what made it, made it possible. See, I always, it's the interactions that make it live. I'm really glad that you did it, and please continue to do it. Yeah.
And also, I know the theme with which my imagination works in a specific genre, and his is very different, and everyone had something different, and you got to listen to these stories, and it also makes you realize that maybe you can do that too. This person's just created something. I mean, I remember the first time he created this massive universe, this universe of which has possibilities to go on for a 10 years series. Yeah. And that's the moment you realize that you don't have to limit yourself to a certain genre. Let's try thinking about something different. And I remember when we started thinking about something to do together, when we spoke about that, and we said, okay, fine, empathy. Let's write about empathy. And that's very interesting how that might not be my forte. Right. And for someone else, they might be happier writing about something in Kolkata, something about temples and palaces and like what he usually prefers. But so I've thoroughly enjoyed every part of it, asking a lot of questions, pestering you, and also watching you work. To actually, when we did that small project that we did towards the end, to actually see you do it, because there are times when you are just placing the camera somewhere, and I'm like, hang on, but what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? You said, okay, let's probably try through this game, through this Jenga, let's try to do this. And that gives you an idea as to how to write as well. Because if that didn't come into the picture, if that we hadn't seen that, then we wouldn't know about the foreground and background and things like that. Okay, now when we write, okay, fine, these two people are having a conversation. Let's have something happen here. Let's have a rat walk past. And is there a reason why the rat's walking past? Is there something else that the rat's walking towards? And is there anything else that we need to write about? What about the mic in front? Because we could remove this mic from here. And when you're writing, and when you're shooting it, you need it. But when you're writing, you can remove this. But it adds to it. So things like that, it's been incredible. So,
Yeah, and one exercise which I would like to highlight is that whenever we are given a task to communicate something, the dialogue is the low-hanging fruit. We always try to.
Always want to do that. Yeah.
So you always used to tell us just see if you can communicate the same thing without dialogue. Then that's when our visually how you can communicate the same thing. Of course, dialogue, anyone can write the dialogue. Okay, but without the dialogue, if we have to communicate the message, that's when we are then I started thinking, yes, so that's a visual language. So those kind of exercises, they really helped me to.
I always believe in subtext, rather than just using dialogue as a tool to say what you really want to say, but how do you push that leverage of the dialogue to, you know, say, make a statement about the character itself, and statement about the mood, or statement of what is happening around. And that's what I believe in, and that's why I included, you know, the subtext aspect of the dialogue. And how was that for you?
So that one actually, I know, like we never thought about that aspect. Like we were always thinking linearly. Okay, a person want to say something. Okay,
Say it.
say it. But there are different ways. Like and it could, the reasons could be different. Why the person is not saying the thing directly. That could be reasons. That could be the character or situation, whatever. But the same messaging can be done in a different ways.
Yeah.
Same dialogue can be said in a very active, passive, polite, very harsh. So I mean that exercise also really helped us. So we were now next time when we write, we think about those possibilities. How can this be rephrased? Can this be written in a different way? So basically these are all like some different ways where we can to think. Because otherwise,
and this is also to do with how I do my films as well, because we have mentioned a lot about my film called Tide of Lies, and that's a film actually based on an untold truth. The truth has never been told in the film, and the way I explore that film is also to know it's called Tide of Lies, but a lie has never been told there. So it was actually exploring a larger philosophical term of, can untold truth be called as a lie?
Wow.
Okay, and in fact there is no lie happening in this screen.
Okay,
it's all about the untold truth, and this is something like the name itself suggests a kind of subtext by itself. And, yeah.
Before, I know we're talking about subtext, but even before that, talking about dialogues per se. Now, when you mention dialogues, you watch a movie, you listen, right? When you read a book, you are actually, now you're reading it. And there are scripts that's there, movie scripts that's there, but primarily movies, you don't read it, you watch the movie. There is a way a book is written. There is a way words are. There's a way it's being pronounced. Now, when it comes to movies, you don't do the same thing as something that you highlighted on as well. Because Terminator, the movie, he says, I will be back, and which is actually a robot, but the cybernetic organism is made to say, I will be back. But Arnold wanted to say it as, I'll be back. So there are certain times you have to write it like, you have to say it like it's written. There's certain times that you'll have to make some changes to it. And we encountered this obstacle so many times where you had to mention saying, okay, this is how you would write it. But now, how is the character going to say it? You have to, because grammatically it might be wrong. But maybe the character does not follow grammar. Maybe the character does not speak English, or maybe the character does not speak Malayalam. So depending on that, you'll have to figure out, maybe the character has a habit of not saying the word R. So you'll have to skip the word R. Grammatically, yes, it might not make sense, but it doesn't matter what it means grammatically or the spelling. It's about how you want the character to speak. That was very interesting because we had that over and over again many times.
Yeah.
In different.
Yes, I personally believe in that as well, because see, it's not always about the grammar. Not everybody is right, like, can always write. And I named one of my documentaries as 1 + 1s of transcendence. And people ask me, like, what is this once? It's not ONC, it's ONE''S.
okay.
And that's not a right way of calling it, right? And I said that's how I want it. There are multiple ones sometimes, and I took it from if you could ask me, like, what is the inspiration of that, it's simply from Bashir. He said one million. So there is a dimension to it, like there is a one and one added to it, and there it becomes a even bigger one.
Yes.
And that sense of very simple mistakes that signifies a lot more bigger truths. And this, I mean, slightly diverting from what we were discussing, but what are your, I mean, how was your, like, how did your way of reading started? Like, what is your kind of reading? And if I could listen to both of you.
You mentioned about One and One, right? The movie based on Chris Gardner, Pursuit of Happiness. If you actually go and check, happiness has got the wrong spelling. So there's grammatically, you could actually make sure that it has the right spelling, but there's a reason why it has the wrong spelling. So I completely get what you're saying.
I think somehow, people are always talking about this perfection and, like some sort of homogenization and everything. And I think art has to have some room of, making mistakes as well. It's not always about perfection. That's what I believe in.
We come from a state with two massive celebrities, two huge stars who clearly have imperfections that has made us like them even more than if they didn't have that. That's probably been the reason for us to like them even more. That's probably a reason for them to become even more famous. So sometimes imperfections probably even make it more perfect in its own way.
Exactly.
So,
Otherwise, it's all like, making from a mold, and that's what I don't want to do with this course. Like we are not having a mold where we fit everybody in. Like, okay, I have this, I'm delivering this to you, and you take it the same way it is. I think that doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when we had the discussions about lenses, we had after that, we had the class about sounds. So we had someone from the industry sit there, watch it, and I remember him saying, kids, listen carefully because you won't study about lenses in such a course. I'm surprised he's had it. This is gold, so watch. Remember that, right? So, yeah.
Because I mean, needs an extra spine to do it, and that's possible only when you do it, or you can able to take risk. And I'm glad that I did it, because it's always been a sense of, like, am I doing it right or wrong? And this moment makes it, affirmation that it's a journey worth living.
Right. But what are your ways to make sure that you find you clearly would want passionate people. So anyone who wants to do it might not be as passionate.
Yeah, see,
So
it's again a double-edged sword. It's I'm really bad at saying no, but at the same time, at this point I'm quite keen at, maybe delegating the right cohort, or like finding. It's not always telling you how do you like mix and match things. Mix and match. And for me, I mean, I'm a little bit of a spiritual person, I would say, and things happen for good. I always believe in that. When you have the right intention, and when you have the right uh, I would say the right way of manifesting things, and it falls before you. And that's why I have you in front of me now.
the reason I asked is because I was actually thinking about it. In our batch, if we didn't have a passionate bunch of people, then we would not be able to. I would not even want to sit down here and have a conversation, and he probably would not have anything to talk about. I probably wouldn't have anything to talk about. So there's a bunch of passionate people you manage to get together.
So because one process which I do is I meet everybody before that. I mean, at least online, I catch up with mostly all of the prospective students, and talk with them. And yeah, this could be a secret, but I ask my team to follow up only if they qualify enough according to my scales. When I say it is not about like how great they are or anything, like how would this team work? It's not that they have a passion. I can't say no to them, but it's like whether they will fit into this particular group that we are starting now.
So I remember when we mentioned the metaphor, one of the how you gave us a lesson was you asked us to pick a problem from our life and write about it. Now, it basically means I want you to get vulnerable. And it was not even that you had a hidden agenda of reading our problems, because you said, write, but you don't even have to share it with me, but write about the problem. And now you create a metaphor for it, right? And I remember telling you, I have a problem. And you're like, what is the problem? It's like, I don't have a problem. And in a way, you're saying that that is the beauty about being a writer, that if you don't have one, you can create one. You can change your identity. You can be someone else. You can have a problem that you probably had 15 years back, 20 years back, or something that a close friend had. And now you can pick that person's character. It's character test that you can do and start writing about that. So that was incredibly interesting and extremely difficult, because there's so many lessons. This was not the only one, but I'm sure Sidharth would agree to it. There's so many lessons that were not really easy. It is not like, writing a story, you write a happy story, the end, over, and now, okay, let me write another story. No, that's not how it is. So it really lets you open up your creativity. It opens up so much, be it your vulnerability, or emotions, your fantasy. Like him, he
Yeah, he's extremely
he's really good at it. He's really good at it. But now the problem is also that now he's really good at writing about palaces and temples and historic events.
Then I drag him out of that.
Exactly, right? Now you drag him out of it and you say, okay, fine, write about something that's happening today, and it should be very relatable to a normal person. Now he struggles. So now when he breaks out of that struggle, that actually helps him grow from there. So that I feel like.
And to be honest, this journey was eventually an eye opener for me also. I mean, as a practitioner, I'm very confined to my comfort zone of developing themes. Connected to, I'm mostly interested in geopolitical themes and across borders sort of things, and borders in that sense is what my films are all about. But at the same time, not moving out of that zone, but these discussions have also pushed my limits as well. Like, it's very awakening for me. Yeah. So it's not just like, the one-way traffic. It's always been like, give and take, and sculpting myself. Yeah. So I'm not very sure, the next batch is going to be the same. It could be something else through the same pipeline, but at the same time, it could be different. Yeah.
But yeah, well, thank you so much for the opportunity to actually be a part of Transaga, to meet everyone, be the family, create a community, meet all the lovely students there, all the knowledge that you've imparted. And
Pleasure is all ours, and it's about the building up the community. Or like I always say, film is nothing but 24 frames of love.
Yes.
And I think we could all feel it.
Yes, exactly. And I think we one aspect also we touched upon the AI thing.
Oh yeah, we forgot that. Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
So that is also a very upcoming thing.
exactly. We brought in some fact of AI in screenwriting to. It's again like it was beneficial for like both of us. Like,
Yeah.
even for them, like you pointed out there, we associated with a screenwriting tool called Realwise, and we were like working on it, and it was very interesting to find how not depending on AI, but at the same time, how do we use AI as a screenwriting assistant?
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, that was, you should say it.
Yeah. Even that, I think we had 2 days of that session, and so that was like class, we have different categories, like the how to build the premise, how to build the character, how to build the synopsis, and the final screenplay. So even that was also very great.
No, also I want to ask, like, how was this process of this working on this beat sheet thing? Like, how was that for you?
Wow, that actually, usually what happens is that we have that we establish something, then we think about the conflict part, then how we'll resolve. But in between that, sometimes we get stuck. We don't know how to connect these things. Yes, so that's where this the beats that really helps, because then of course I think these are all tried and tested methodologies.
Correct. It is standard.
So in some industry standards. So that really helped because I had no clue about that. So sometimes like I was stuck, like how to fill these gaps, how to, suppose if you are making a full length movie, like which is like more than an hour, and then I used to think, how I can fill those gaps. So that's where these things, that
Fall in
came,
place.
that comes very handy, like you can think about the beats, how to, the graph and all those things. So that was a good learning experience. Yes.
Okay, so I think we could conclude the session by asking like, what is your next film?
Coming soon.
What's Sreejith? And
I mean, I definitely know. Even we had a discussion, me and Sreejith. So I told him that definitely I have plans to do a big full-length commercial movie, but maybe that can wait. Initially, I will start with some small baby steps.
Yeah.
So yes, I am planning to do a few short films and experiment with different mediums, be it AI or live action, whatever, so that again I'll get some practical knowledge, exposure, and
I
all those
hope
things.
Transaga could give you some confidence on.
Yes, and of course I am trying to build my network, make some connections, and once I get more practical experience, then
Yeah.
so
Bang on.
yes.
I'm really, I wanted to see your film on the screen because in its absolute grandeur and no zero compromises. And
It's been 2.5 months since the beginning, if I'm not wrong, roughly. And 2.5 months from now, I'm all set to start. So it's going to be day one. So excited about that. And I have to say, I've got so much support from you in those. And I know I've said it so many times, and I promise you I'm not going to stop saying it. So yeah, thank you so much for all of that.
Yeah,
And,
and
yeah,
I'm going to
excited about
bother you.
keep doing it.
I think we should keep this community going.
We should. We actually should.
We should
We actually should.
keep this going.
Yeah.
Even I would love to personally. I want to request this. Whenever there's a new batch, would love to come in and spend
That's a
time
great idea.
with
Exactly.
them. And I personally would love to do that because there's going to be more ideas to probably have half a day spend with them, have interactions with them, talking about the challenges, obstacles that we had. I'm sure he would be more than happy to. Everyone would be more than happy to come.
That's a really interesting idea, and I'm sure we are picking it up. Yeah.
So
Great. So thanks a lot, and thanks a lot for coming. And it's been absolutely a grateful journey. And thank you.
Thank you so much.
thank you so much.
Okay, wonderful.